You gotta be kidding me. I can't believe I'm about to actually say this once again. But here we go again. This Bears team, they lost 24-17 to the Tennessee Titans, who, in my mind, really did not deserve to win this game today. Nor did the Bears deserve to win this game today. Because really, both of the offenses struggled. It was a defensive game. And literally, the mental mistakes and the failure to score down the field, that's what cost the Bears this game. And it's not that like the Titans were spectacular. They weren't spectacular this game. No, they didn't even, I don't even have to even do this. All right. Starting off with the offense, they played very piss poor in this first half. They had 0 points on the board. And God, they were moving, they were having some movement down the field, right? Having some movement down the field. But then when it came to scoring the ball, they didn't do anything. The fourth down conversions and, they always want to look pretty and try and go for it on 4th and 2 and 4th and 1. That's not going to win you football games. And it clearly shows it today. You have a suspectable offensive line. They're not clearing up holes. They're not protecting Nick Foles. So what do? Oh, well, we got to score touchdowns. So let's keep going with this. And guess what? You get blew up in the backfield and guess what? That was a waste of possession. And you know what? Also, you really can't blame this game on the defense. When your offense cannot really score the ball until, 5 minutes left to go in the game? Yes, they did score 17 points, but it took them 55 minutes to score 17 points. 55 minutes. So really, they were playing, we got to rush. We got to go. This is what we have to do. We got to get some points on the board now. You know what? Speaking of which, in my opinion, I think they will be much better if they play up-tempo offense. Because with the up-tempo offense, they're scoring doing the field and, they're keeping the defense up on their toes. And that's good. But, when you having like the traditional 4-minute offense and the 9-minute offense, then they're slow. And it really shows today. They really cannot score the ball down the field. It was a lack of protection from the offensive line. And overall, they just struggled today. They played completely trash. And in the second half, the Bears had issues with discipline, with the back-to-back false starts and the delay of games and the intentional groundings. Like, all these penalties, these would add up to let you lose games. Because Nick Foles, with him, like, I have no choice. I got to throw the ball. I have to throw the ball down to the ground before they can sack me. Wrong. When you're in a pocket and you throw the ball down to the ground, that's intentional grounding. And that's a loss of downs. So, really, just a lack of discipline. And it really shows. And one more thing I have to compare. 3-0 versus 2-4. That's all I have to say. Mitchell Trubisky is 3-0 as a Bears starter. Nick Foles is 2-4 as a Bears starter. I made my point. And then now going into the other stuff that happened in the second half. Defense gave up a touchdown, and one touchdown was its return off of David Montgomery fumble. And literally, technically, this Titans offense, they scored 17 points. They did not score 24. That defensive touchdown, I don't count defensive touchdowns with offensive production. Defensive touchdowns and punt returns, kick returns, whatever you want to do. Like, those type of touchdowns, that's what I call bonus points. And literally, the Titans won by bonus points today. And I'm really pissed about that. Also, with the offensive line playing terribly, they had a bunch of rookies. They had a bunch of second strings and third stringers in. So really, it was just a bad showing from the offensive line today. And with Nick Foles, him and these, let me throw the ball 6 yards down the field and 4 yards down the field. I'll be damned if I have to see that one more time, because you should be throwing at least 8 yards down the field to be at least in contention with the first down. Instead, no, we have to be stagnant and throw 6 yards down the field. And then, of course, with the offensive line, when you're blocking, with the blocking and stuff like that, he's feeling pressured and everything like that, then he has no choice. And honestly, Nick Foles had a good game today. And what I mean by good game, the good game happened in garbage time. That's all I have to say about that. And then overall, I feel like this offense held this defense back. The offense held this game back for a win because the defense did their jobs. They did all they could. And the team stats is really going to prove it when I get to the team stats section. And also with the lack of the trade deadline, the lack of, we're not going to go after anybody, that shows that you just don't want to win this year. And, I got proven wrong. So I'm still optimistic about a 10-6, but I'm starting to show a little doubt because this is going to be a long season, man. And look, they're 5-4, but this can quickly go to 5-11, and I don't want that to happen. We are now officially the laughingstock of the NFL, and it shows. Like, you didn't draft Mahomes, or you got Nick Foles and he's not contributing much. You got rid of Trubisky. You don't have an offensive line. All this type of stuff is what makes us the laughingstock in my mind of the NFL. Now, heading into the stats, Nick Foles, with the good game that he had, he was 36 of 52, 335 passing yards, 2 touchdowns in garbage time, no interceptions, with a 99.4 passer rating and 3 sacks. So really, with his promise of I'm going to scramble, it didn't really work today. Ryan Tannehill had a subpar game. 10 of 21, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 3 sacks for a 104.9 passer rating. So really, he just played, in my opinion, well enough for this victory. Like, this game wasn't spectacular. He just played a ball management position, and it really helped the Titans win this game. Now, rushing, David Montgomery, 14 rushes, 30 yards, 2.1 yards per rush. I'm not giving anybody excuses today. With him not finding any holes and the offensive line as well, you can expect that recipe. Like, it's not a really good recipe. If you're only averaging 2.1 yards per rush, then that means you're really going nowhere with the football. And it really shows. That means that offensive line, they're really going to have to hit the sleds right after today. And they're going to have to work, because if they don't work, then you can expect this production from David Montgomery. And then from the Titans side, Derrick Henry, he had 21 carries, 68 yards, with a 3.2 yards per rush. And really, with Derrick Henry, he had to work for his yards today. He did not have a really good game at all. He didn't even have a touchdown. He didn't even run over 100 yards. They did their job. The Bears run defense did their job. Because if Derrick Henry had any holes to run through, then it would have been a long game for the Bears defensive side of the ball. But other than that, I'll give the Bears defense major props for Derrick Henry, for containing Derrick Henry to under 70 yards and to just 3.2 yards per rush. Like, I applaud them. Now, receiving, Allen Robinson, 7 catches, 81 yards. He didn't have his best game, but it certainly wasn't his worst. Anthony Miller had 5 catches, 59 yards, and a lost fumble. And that lost fumble, it really didn't change the outcome of the game. The Bears were already down 14 points, and really, it would be unbelievable if the Bears would score that touchdown on that drive where Anthony Miller fumbled the ball and he lost it. So it was unbelievable if they were going to get that touchdown. Jimmy Graham had 6 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. He played an okay game. He caught that late touchdown pass in the end zone. So really, like I said, these garbage time points, I'm really not even all that impressed with him. And then Ryan Nall, the backup running back to David Montgomery, he had 4 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown. And that was the other player who had a touchdown pass today. So really, I almost don't even want to count these touchdown passes. Rookie Darnell Mooney had 5 catches, 43 yards. He didn't have the most spectacular game, but Nick Foles, having 36 completions, you can expect some yards. So there you go right there. A.J. Brown for the Tennessee Titans, he had 4 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. He played pretty well this game. He was beating our DBs all game, and it really showed. And then Jonnu Smith, he had 2 catches, 32 yards, and a touchdown. Now for defense, Roquan Smith, 11 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for losses. I think this guy is going to make the Pro Bowl this year. He's been playing really well on this Bears defense despite the struggling on the run. And I think, he has potential to be an NFL superstar in the next couple of years. Akeem Hicks has 6 tackles and 1 QB hit. He really couldn't get past that offensive line today. Same thing with Khalil Mack. He had 3 tackles and nothing else. And Danny Trevathan also had 6 tackles today. So really, the defense, they played a complimentary game, but they wasn't forcing any mistakes or any turnovers. And that's what really cost them this game. I'm not putting them at fault here, but if you want to win in the NFL, you got to force some turnovers. And I'm gonna give the Titans some credit. I'm gonna give the Titans some credit for not turning the ball over, because if they would have turned the ball over, the game would have been more at risk. So the Titans offense, they did their job today, despite not having their best game statistically in that matter. Now for the Titans on defense, Jayon Brown, 10 tackles, 1 sack, and a tackle for loss. Breon Borders, 9 tackles. And Desmond King, the guy who was just acquired from the LA Chargers, he had 2 tackles, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown. So really, Desmond King, I think he just made that defense a little bit better. Now, although they're ranked number 24, which in all honesty, before I get finished with the stats, the Bears struggled to get any points against the number 24 ranked defense in the National Football League. That's all I have to say about that. You guys struggled. They should have been easy. You should have pushed them around today. I almost want to cry right now just looking at the stats. Because with these garbage time stats, which I'm about to go and expose out to the world to y'all, it's going to show. But y'all struggle, man. Y'all didn't even get any points until the fourth quarter. It's just that terrible. If you guys can't even get any points until the fourth quarter, then I don't even know why you're even out there. Because that means you guys are showing signs that y'all giving up, and that means you guys are showing signs that y'all struggling. And y'all need much more. You guys need much more help with the play calling. Because Matt Nagy, I'm about to say it. Matt Nagy, if he does not make the playoffs this year, he's going to get fired. Same thing with the general manager of the team, Ryan Pace. He's going to get fired because that offense cannot get no points down the field. They cannot score for anything. They cannot score to save their lives. It's ridiculous. I'm sick of it. The Bears offense as a whole, ever since the 1980s, they have not been consistent at all. We have never had... Oh, wait a minute. We have not had a lot of Pro Bowl quarterbacks. You know what? The 85 Bears, that was one Pro Bowl quarterback, and that was with Jim McMahon. And then 2 years ago, Mitchell Trubisky, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback. So that means for the last 34 years, these guys did not have a Pro Bowl quarterback for the past 34 years, and they only had just two. Just two Pro Bowl quarterbacks. And that is bad. That means they cannot scout. So really, what I'm about to say right now, it might offend some people, but that team needs to get sold. I feel like it's done. The offense is struggling. The Bears have always primarily been known as a defensive football team, but the offense, that offense, it's been really terrible. Now heading to team stats, the Bears had 22 first downs compared to Tennessee's 11. Oh, wait a minute. And in third down efficiency, you guys are number 30 in the league in third down efficiency against the number 30 defense in third down efficiency, and you guys are only 2 for 15. That is ridiculous. You know what? I can't even take it. I can't take this anymore. 2 for 15 against one of the second worst defense on third down this season. The second worst. That is terrible. I can't believe it. Only 2 times? Really? Oh my goodness. This is getting out of control. And then Tennessee, they had a moderate 6 for 15 third down efficiency. And then with the total yards, the Bears had 375 total yards compared to the Titans' 228 total yards in this game. Completely terrible. Yards per play. The Bears had 5 yards per play compared to the Tennessee Titans' 4 yards per play. Passing. Oh, listen to this number. 319 passing yards compared to 136 passing yards by the Titans. So the Titans were not effective in the run game. They were not effective in the passing game. And it shows. The team stat shows that. So really, in my opinion, the defense did their jobs today. The offense is what held the defense back from winning this football game. And it shows. It shows. And then rushing. Let's go to rushing, shall we? Rushing, 56 yards. Okay, so the Bears did not have a really good game rushing compared to the Titans' 92. So really, the Bears' defense as a whole, they did outstanding today, like as far as with the team stats. And then yards per rush, they were only allowing 3 yards per rush. And for the Bears, they only had 2.8 yards per rush. So really, this was really a defensive game. But here's where this really pisses me off. 20 rushing attempts, and then Nick Foles, 52 passing attempts. That is ridiculous. Like, you want to talk about pass happy, that is pass happy. My God, only 20 rushing attempts. And really, Matt Nagy, he just abandoned the run today. Also, the Titans, they had 31 rushing attempts. But with those rushing attempts, that's what made the Bears defense tired. And it showed because the Bears gave up 17 points with that. They gave up 17 points, all thanks to that rushing attack. And then the Bears, they had 2 costly turnovers compared to the Titans' 0. Now, concluding my video, I'd like for you guys to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'm not even motivated to say go Bears this week. This is gonna this has been a really real roller coaster season, and I just hope for the best for the Bears right now. But right now, I'm not even happy. This is just a terrible day for me today, and I just don't even know how to describe it. I just don't even know how to describe it now. I'm done. I'm tired. I will see you guys later in the next video. I will see you all later.